Hello, and welcome to another video. This video, I'm going to be playing Vigilance. Didn't really think I was going to do a commentary for this video. This video was just going to put music in it, but couldn't really find any music that I wanted to actually use. So I figured we'll just do another commentary. Since I'm kind of in the groove of it, let me know if you guys want more commentary or just more music. I don't really mind either way. Sometimes I'll just pick music because I think it will fit a lot better. However, I just couldn't find anything that fit for this. But basically, with Vigilance, running the normal cut to pieces, I'm not taking Bold Hatred, I'm taking reduced cooldown on Reach Defense because I'm trying to synergize more with the Second Wind implant to keep myself alive a lot more. For the most part, it does help a tremendous amount. And it does make playing Vigilance a little bit more fun. I'm also taking the reduced cooldown, I think, on Plasma Brand, so it's 10-second cooldown instead of a 12. That doesn't make a huge difference, but it does, it does make it a little bit easier to constantly get dot spreads because it is your longest duration dot, and it also means that you'll always have Shatter on the target. So that's one thing to take into account. So if you are trying to dot spread, having the reduced cooldown on Shatter does mean that you will have Shatter uptime 100% on whoever you choose to hit. And on top of that, I'm taking the AoE Force Stream, mainly for the slow, but AoE Force Stream is actually really good. And when I hit some more than like 2 to 3 targets, you can pretty much start your slam spam from there. And it's really nice to just get into the groove of things. Overall, I'm a little bit more focused on cleave, and you see there I get really low. This is kind of like what it's like to greed. Basically, within the first minute of the game, I can already gauge their damage and knew that they don't do that much damage, and I can afford to be a little bit more greedy. And if you can pull off being greedy, you can survive a lot of things that you usually, maybe think that you might not be able to. It allows you to get away with a lot of things that normally, in like a more competitive match, you wouldn't. So, personally, not only with my talents, but my playstyle is usually end up being pretty greedy. That's just the way I like to play. It's not because like I'm disrespecting the enemy team or anything. It's just that I want to see how far I can actually push things. And if I can't push it at all, then I just won't be greedy. But any chance that I do get to push it, I will. Because, it is a team-based game, and it's not really like Arena. You can actually push your limits a lot further. Obviously, in Arena, you can't really afford to do that. You need to make sure that you use everything. If you don't use everything, then you're more of a detriment than a addition to the team. Anyway, I do get the ball here, and I'm like, oh, that'd be great, but I end up falling off, so I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I throw it away. But seeing this right here, this is like the perfect reason why you want to play cut to pieces, because getting all those slams, even on single target, slam is pretty good. Overall DPS. I don't know when that guy ran into the acid really confuses me, but some players are just like that for some reason. Having engineering player really helps the slam spam because I'm able to time my Force Scream slow with his AoE slow in between, so I can slow them down and then he can, continually slow them down, which makes it pretty nice for the slams. This match probably wouldn't have been as good if there was an engineering sniper there to assist me in slows. Alternative would be like PT Tank, who'd be really good at getting people clumped up. So not all the time is Vigilance or Vengeance really good. One thing that Vengeance and Vigilance is really good at, however, is making your own cleave. This does mean that you sacrifice your own survival, but it sometimes can work out if you end up doing more damage and you get dodged and everybody can get a lot of healing, and if that healing is greater than their damage, then you can get away with it scot-free, which is pretty nice. Obviously, it'll probably blow all your cooldowns, but you'll be able to walk out of a 1v4, and that's not necessarily why you would want to do it, but you just AoE spam people that didn't know any better to run away. Which I have a couple of videos. I think the last time I played Vigilance, that's exactly what happened. I just went to their pylon HI brigade and just 1v1 the entire game. And they would consistently let me just slam them and get a ton of healing, and they really struggled killing me. It was fun, but for the most part, most of the time people will have enough damage to flat out kill you, so it doesn't necessarily work. So you do have to be somewhat smart on gauging enemy damage. This is probably one of the most important, if not one of the more important classes that you need to know how much damage the enemy can do and how much your leap damage reduction importance is. I believe you also get damage reduction on an which is Endure Pain. Also, with that, if you're running Second Wind, if you pop Endure and then get a Second Wind proc, you get more healing because your HP percentage is higher. That's another thing to keep in mind. So you can actually get a lot of healing for all, which is also why I'm taking the reduced cooldown on Rage Defense. Overall, Bold Hatred is pretty good, as it does allow you to hit really high with your Impel, which Impel is a majority of your single target damage, and it also allows you Hue to hit really hard too. Overall, this game ends up being just kind of like a mid-fight for a while. You don't see these kind of games much anymore, and I love seeing them. If I wasn't taking a more defensive / healy loadout, this match kind of wouldn't happen. So if I played AP, these players would probably just get wiped. So therefore, there wouldn't really be damage going around like this. On top of that, if I played like Arsenal, I wouldn't have the damage to clear everybody because it would just take too long to kill each individual player, as they are on more side of the healing part than they are the damage reduction part. So AP would blow them up, and there'd be no healing that. Arsenal wouldn't have enough damage to just flat out blow them up over and over, so it would be a bad situation. Vengeance ends up being in a mixed situation. If I can get them to stack, I can blow them all up. If I can't, it's pretty decent. It has decent durability. Another class would be really good for this, Pyro. I feel like you would just kill them all too fast on Pyro, because Pyro is just too good. But it'd be another class that would probably be able to capitalize heavily here. Overall, Vengeance is really easy to play. So the reason why I'm taking the AoE Force Scream again, not only for a slow, but getting an AoE, it does count as your dot, and you can auto-create your Force Scream. So this means you can immediately start getting into your slam spam, and if you pop in Rage afterwards, you pretty much almost guarantee your first ticks of Force Scream to be a critical, and you can slam spam like crazy. Generally, just not having to spread your Force Scream with slam right away just allows you to get into the flow / rhythm of being able to slam spam. So if you can slam spam faster and not have to take the critical and rage, so you can maintain the healing aspect of Vigilance and Vigilance, you're able to capitalize more on the AoE, even if it's only a short duration, which is pretty nice. This guy is taking Saber Throw off skate. That's why the character looked weird there. I was very confused when I saw that. I was like, why is this guy taking Saber Throw off skate? I really wish they would just remove that tactical. The only thing that's really stopping me from doing is my Ravage, my Impel, and my Hue. The other abilities I don't even care if they stop me from doing. They're not necessarily for damage, they're just for building rage. So you see me throwing the ball a lot, and you say, oh, why not hold it? I don't actually have defenses right now, so I can't really hold it. And our team's not particularly tanky, so we're kind of just playing hot potato with the ball, killing whoever has the ball, and I'm just trying to make it a little bit harder for them to hit me, but also at the same time try to capitalize dot spreads and trying to get healing. But unfortunately, I'm just kind of screwed here. That's okay. It's the first time I die in this match, and it's pretty much over. It totally looks like I didn't do anything at all, but in reality, I'm putting a lot of AoE damage out, and since they're less on the damage reduction part, and they're more on the healing part, this means that in games like this, you're able to push DPS a lot higher. So this is the difference of getting a good match for, I guess, quote-unquote, number farming, even though it's not a number farm game. I'm just killing people. This is why DPS always varies, and it's always highly varying. thing, because, you know, sometimes you have people that don't pop defensive, you get classes that don't have defensives and they're really squishy and they just take raw damage, and enemy team has a lot of healing to allow you to push numbers, stuff like that. DPS is really high, but the problem is that you never really get to see that anymore. For example, the annihilation games that I showed you, that's purely on uptime, nothing special, just like this one.